I had it happen my third month in the industry. My oldest client, who was just into their 70s, I'm sitting down with you because I trust that if and when I'm gone, my family's going to be taken care of in the way that I envision. And that has nothing to do with the brand, on the paper. It has everything to do with what he looked in my eyes and believed.
From putting up numbers on the basketball court to crunching numbers in the financial world, it has been an eye-opening career change for Paul Davis. You'll find out how the former Michigan State and NBA basketball player is using the lessons he learned in the locker room to make moves in the boardroom. Episode 34 of Power Forward comes your way right now.
This is Power Forward. The primary purpose of this podcast series is to inform, entertain, and educate. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast series do not constitute legal or other professional advice, opinions, or endorsements of any kind.
All right, welcome back to Power Forward. Justin White alongside Mateen Cleaves. Mateen, what is good, my friend?
Justin woke up this morning feeling great, and you know what? I am flying high, my friend.
Flying high. It's the new catchphrase. It's catching on, by the way. It's not the first time you've dropped that on us, but I feel like it's starting to gain some traction, some momentum.
Well, all right. Because if people can fly high, then that means you're having a great day.
Absolutely. Well, Mateen, you know that on the show here, we love our conversations with former athletes because there are so many parallels between sports and business. And we love it even more so when those athletes enter the business world, and maybe even a little bit more when those former athletes are working in finance, just like we are here at the company. And today we are pleased to be joined by somebody who fits the bill. He's also a former Spartan. So lots of similarities here on the show as we welcome in Paul Davis, former Michigan State basketball star, former NBA player, and now a partner with the Podium Group Risk Management. This is a concierge level practice that specializes in serving active and retired athletes, entertainers, C-suite executives, and business owners. Paul, welcome to the show and the new gig. Congratulations on that. It sounds like a perfect fit for you.
It really was a perfect fit in transition. Every athlete is looking for their second chapter and owning what that might be. And for me, moving into working with Podium Group and now being a partner was able to happen pretty early on in my career, so to speak. So excited for the next year and the next 20 years.
And before we dive into the business, let me get the basketball thing out the way, man. Justin, every time I see Paul, I get sad because when he played, me as a point guard, I'm thinking I could just throw the ball in to Paul, assist. I could have had a record that wouldn't have been broken if I would have played with Paul. So I'm glad you're doing great, Paul, but I had to get that out there before we dive into the interview.
Hey, right back at you. I feel like I would have had a couple more points on the board, and that would have moved up a few more notches on the all-time list, and then maybe one or two banners extra. So we'll figure out what that assist game is in our second chapter of life.
Exactly.
Yeah, for those of our listeners that don't know, Mateen and Paul just missed each other at Michigan State by a few years. Mateen, of course, won the national championship in 2000. Paul, you went to East Lansing in 2002. You played on that 2005 Final Four team that lost to North Carolina, the eventual national champion that year. But you guys just missed each other. And also, Mateen, to your previous point, for our listeners that don't know, Paul is also now the tallest guest that we've had on Power Forward as he checks in at 6'11". In a basketball gym, seeing a 6'11" guy, not a big deal. But Paul, when you are having meetings with clients or you're out walking down the street, do you still get people who look up at you and say, "Man, what does this guy do?"
Yeah, it's having those meetings, obviously in person with clients or just networking. It's a conversation piece. It's something that it kind of brings people in and want to understand maybe your background and what you've done. And now with COVID and Zoom, everybody is, it doesn't even seem like anybody's a different height. And so can't really use that to my advantage. So I've got to figure out different ways to get through.
I think one thing, next meeting you have in person and someone asks about basketball, you should say, I never played. I never liked
I've always said, I've got those backgrounds, whether it's a bowler or a jockey, and then they have no idea what to say next. So, I've got a million of them, and I'm sure I'll figure out a few more.
Well, we're going to talk more about your basketball career and some of the lessons you learned playing for Tom Izzo, and some of the lessons you learned during your pro career, which spanned from as you said, from Los Angeles, playing in the Staples Center to the middle of Siberia. So we're going to get into that, but for starters here, or to tip things off, no pun intended. Tell us how you ended up at the Podium Group. How did you land there after your basketball career came to an end?
So after I stopped playing in 2016, and a little earlier than I had hoped, with 7 different surgeries, and took the first year just to enjoy being home, around family, friends, and as 2017 started, started taking meetings with some people from my network and different business owners that I had known, just to start understanding what other people do in different industries. And probably mid 2017, I had connected with who's now